I was afraid of staying stuck in a life that no longer existed. My name is Emily. I am 34 years old. I am married. My husband's name is Daniel. He is 36. We live in a small semi-detached house with a little garden at the back. We have a son and a daughter. They mean everything to us. We have been married for 9 years, but our life together has grown very quiet. We share the same home, but it often feels like we live separate lives. Our marriage is not a happy one. We rarely talk, and when we do, it's usually about bills, work, or the children. There's no warmth in our conversations. We don't laugh together anymore. We don't hold hands. We sleep in the same bed, yet it feels like there's a distance between us that cannot be crossed. I feel empty inside. When I look at Daniel, I don't see the man I once loved. I don't feel his love either. The connection we had has slowly disappeared. I still remember the days when we were happy. Now, those memories feel like they belong to someone else. I long to feel seen again, to feel loved. I knew that looking for love outside my marriage was risky. I knew it was wrong, but the loneliness at home was unbearable. I wanted to feel alive again. I wanted someone to look at me and remind me that I mattered. One evening, I went to a small cafe near the high street. I sat alone, stirring my tea, lost in my thoughts. That's when I noticed him. His name was Oliver. He was sitting across the room, reading a book. There was something calm and kind about him. We started talking. I don't even remember how it began, but suddenly, we were deep in conversation, as if we had known each other for years. Oliver listened to me, truly listened. No one had done that for a long time. When he looked at me, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Alive. We talked for hours that night. Before we left, he asked for my number. I gave it to him, without hesitation. The next day, he called. We met again. And then again. Soon it became a regular thing. Before I realized it, we were meeting in secret. I knew it was wrong, but every time my phone lit up with his name, my heart raced. I couldn't stop myself. Oliver gave me the attention and affection I had been craving. He made me feel important. He made me feel like myself again. We grew closer. We shared our thoughts, our dreams. I found myself forgetting about the emptiness at home. I began living two lives. One was quiet, dull, and distant, my life at home. The other was full of warmth and excitement, my life with Oliver. We had to be careful. We only met when Daniel was at work or traveling. We texted late at night, using small codes so no one would understand. One day, Daniel had to travel to another city for work. The children were staying at their grandmother's house for the night. I was alone. The house felt too quiet. I thought about Oliver. I messaged him, asking if he could come over. He arrived shortly after. Seeing him made me forget everything else. Time seemed to move faster when we were together. I didn't want that night to end. Then suddenly, there was a knock at the front door. My heart nearly stopped. I looked at Oliver, panic in my eyes. It was Daniel. He had come back early. Everything felt like it was collapsing in that moment. I quickly told Oliver to hide in the bedroom. My hands were shaking as I tried to stay calm. I fixed my clothes and went to the door. When I opened it, Daniel stood there, his expression unreadable. He walked inside without a word, glancing around the room. I could feel the tension in the air. He looked at me and asked why I was still awake. I lied. I said I was watching television. I kept talking, trying to distract him, asking about his trip, his work, anything to keep him away from the bedroom. But I could see it in his eyes. He was suspicious. He started checking around the house. The closer he got to the bedroom, the faster my heart beat. I stood in his way, talking nonstop. Eventually, he stopped and went into the kitchen to get some water. That was the moment. The bedroom door opened slightly, and Oliver slipped out quietly and left the house. The danger had passed, but the fear stayed. The next morning, I felt sick with anxiety. I kept thinking, did Daniel believe me? Did he notice anything? By the afternoon, my phone rang. It was Oliver. His voice was different. He said that what happened the night before had frightened him, that we were too close to being caught. He said he couldn't continue like this. He apologized and then he said goodbye. Just like that, it was over. I sat on the floor, holding my phone, unable to move. Tears streamed down my face. Before Oliver, I was lonely. After him, I felt even more alone. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying everything. I missed him. I missed how he made me feel. But I also remembered the fear in that moment when Daniel came home. Oliver was right. What we had was dangerous. It could have destroyed everything. I thought about my marriage. Daniel was in the next room. We lived under the same roof, but we were strangers. The truth was, our marriage had been broken long before Oliver came into my life. I realized I didn't want to live like this anymore. Not in fear. Not in lies. I wanted something real. I walked into the living room and saw the papers on the table. Divorce papers. Daniel had given them to me weeks ago. I hadn't signed them because I was afraid. Afraid of change. Afraid of being alone. But now, I wasn't afraid of the future anymore. I picked up a pen and I signed them. In that moment, something lifted off my chest. The secret was gone. The weight was gone. A secret love can feel like the only light in a dark life, but it's not real light. It fades quickly, leaving behind fear, pain, and regret. I didn't want a hidden life anymore. I wanted a real one, and that was the beginning of my new start. So take a step to change your life. For more real-life stories, don't forget to subscribe my channel.